Hi, Kelly Starrett here. I'm at the world headquarters of Christmas. It's called Rogue Fitness, and I'm proud to present our brand newest fun tool called the Supernova. Now, we started this process of creating the Supernova about 2 years ago. It came about because what we were seeing in the world of myofascial use and myofascial release, kind of self-treatment in the soft tissues, was we were either rototilling the body. We were either just basically taking spikes and rototilling and weren't kind of purporting to get the shear that we wanted, or we were kind of steamrolling the tissues, which allowed me to strip and definitely get pressure, but didn't really allow me to access the kind of deeper tissue layers, and it just wasn't a perfect idea. Combined with the fact that traveling with this beast is awkward at best in the airport. So, I came up with this. And the idea here is these channels allow us to create lots and lots of grip and shear. So in the tissues, when you get on this thing, one of the things that you'll notice immediately is that we create a lot more grip, which means that you can have a higher pressure tolerance because it's a little bit more diffuse while still creating the grip and shear that we're after. So sometimes a lacrosse ball or a small trigger point ball creates a little bit too much point discrimination, which means that I'm limited by how much pressure I can take based on the fact that it's a little bit painful, but I still am not creating the higher levels of grip and shear that allows me to kind of separate out the intramuscular, intermuscular kind of differences in the tissues. So enter the Supernova. Now you'll notice that all the patterns go in slightly different directions. All the canyons kick out in different directions. And what this does is that when I sink in, this allows me to actually create a little bit of negative space in the tissue. So when I pull that off, you can see that's what's happened is I get some bright areas where the blood is flowing in and some areas that are sort of high pressure and low pressure. And what this does is this allows tissue fluid to move around more efficiently. And what we find is that in areas that are poorly perfused, there's a kind of lower water content in some of the fascia. And by creating these areas of high pressure and low pressure, we're able to kind of normalize that. Additionally, because I can create larger shear forces, it's like having someone stand on me, but I can create better grip and torsion. So not only do I slide better, when I add this rotation to it, I end up kind of winding up the fascia more effectively and then pushing it in all the different directions that I need to. So instead of just kind of rolling or smearing like we do on a barbell, we had a much better outcome. The size is important because what we found is that the ball gets kind of absorbed in the typical office chair during the day. So when you're sitting in a car or stuck on an airplane seat, what we're finding is that that small ball kind of disappears and doesn't have the outcome. The other thing we're finding is that we need a little bit more of a specific tool to let us get into these large muscle groups. Is that as we work more and more with significant athletes, what we're finding is that these athletes have very large muscle groups that need large amounts of shear, and the simple small ball is too small to kind of create these local, the large area of distraction or large area of work because it's too finite, it's a little bit too detailed. So with the ball, this allows me to sit at work and really start to grind in and shear. Now you notice one of the things that I've done is I've put a plate up here, and when I'm at the gym, this ball sits well right in the middle of a plate, and this means that I can sit on that hamstring, and we call this the pin and spin, and of course, finish that idea, it's pin, spin, and win. So by adding that rotation, I can really end up kind of getting into some of those ugly bits. This makes it easier to unglue the areas of the pec, the big areas of the tricep and lat, and what ends up happening is that this ball sort of replaces a lot of your kind of typical rollers. It's easy to travel with. The other problem that we were finding is that we were needing a little bit kind of more robust device so that we could attack and work on the areas of the trunk. What's nice about this ball is this allows me to get into some of the detail work on my psoas and even up into the iliacus in the region. I can still create all the shear that I want, but I can modulate the pressure because of the nice kind of big diffuse side. Once again, the goal and the name of the game is to try to create shear and unglue these really, really tacked down kind of hard working surfaces of our athlete. The Supernova allows us to do this. This is one of our best ideas and one of the things on which I'm most proud, and it is a revolution because there's nothing like it.